Okay, in this video we're going to talk about where to find junk you can spin into gold on eBay, or in other words, where to find used items to sell on eBay for a big profit. Now, the first place to look is your own home or apartment. You want to look for things you don't use anymore. Items like clothes, video game systems, smartphones, shoes, computer equipment, vintage toys, sports memorabilia, trading cards, comic books, electronics, and small appliances. Now, you'd be surprised how much stuff you have lying around that you don't use anymore that people would pay you good money for. One quick note here, you want to stick to selling smaller items on eBay. Don't try and sell your refrigerator or your old lawnmower. Shipping costs for large items are usually more expensive than what people are willing to pay for the item itself. So try and keep to selling only smaller items. Now make sure you check eBay first before you purchase an item, or before you use an item from around your home, before you list it to sell, to make sure that it's something that will sell. You can also get an idea for whether or not it's even worth it, because why bother going to the trouble of listing something that will only sell for $3? Now, to check whether or not an item is worth selling, just go to eBay and do a search. Like if you're selling a pair of Air Jordan Nike shoes or something, you want to get on eBay and do a search for that, for the Nike, the Air Jordans, and then see what they're selling for. You can also use the eBay smartphone app. It's really handy, and you can use it to check prices of items wherever you are. So if you're out and about and you find something that you think might sell on eBay, just pull out your smartphone and do a search using the eBay app, and you can find out whether or not it's worth it. What you want to do, you want to search on eBay to look to see if there are many other items like the one you're thinking of selling. You know, how much are other sellers asking? If the price is worth it to you, then sell it. Now, after you've sold everything you want to from your own place, it's time to branch out and find hidden treasures in places others may not think to look. Now, the first place I recommend you look are your local yard sales. Now, most people who have yard sales just want to get rid of their junk while making a few dollars. So at the end of the day, when the sale is almost over, they don't want to be faced with the task of hauling all their items back into their house and or trying to figure out what to do with them. And that's where you come in. If you visit a yard sale in its final hour or so, you can make the sellers an offer they can't refuse. Typically, this means that you offer a small price for all the remaining merchandise. You can also buy one of the bigger items and ask the seller to throw in other items for free. Of course, you don't want to ask for an item that's too large because you won't be able to sell it on eBay. Now, here's a pro tip. Depending on what the seller has left at the yard sale and their reasons for selling, you may even offer to clean up their sale in exchange for the merchandise. In other words, they're basically paying you for cleaning up their yard or garage by giving you the remaining items for free. Now, this works best if the seller is having a moving sale, and that's because the seller likely doesn't want to pack the remaining items. And since he's moving, he's not just going to put them back in his house. That means he's likely to give them to charity or even throw them out. As such, you're in a good position to negotiate. If the seller has a lot of good items and he doesn't want to just give these items to you, then you can do one of two things. First, you can offer a small amount for the items, or secondly, you can barter for the items. For example, you can offer to help him do a little moving, packing, or cleaning in exchange for the items. Okay, and one final note, you don't have to wait until the last minutes of a garage sale in order to get free stuff. Indeed, you can approach sellers at the beginning of the yard sale to pitch your offer to them. Okay, now here are a few tips. Don't arrive early. If the garage sale starts at 8 a.m., don't arrive at 7:30 a.m. and don't arrive the day before. You want to leave a good impression with the person holding the sale, so wait until the sale starts and then wait until a quiet moment before approaching the seller. Okay, and you can leave a flyer. The seller is going to meet a lot of people over the course of the day. Possibly, she might even meet other people who want to pick up her remaining items at the end of the day. That's why you should give her a flyer that keeps your offer in front of her all day and reminds her why she should take you up on the offer. Now, by the end of the day, she'll likely be happy to know you're willing to help her clean up at the end of the sale. All right, let them know you'll follow up. Finally, tell the seller you'll follow up with her at the end of the day. If you're in the neighborhood, you can come back with a pickup if you own a truck or if you know someone who owns a truck, which shows you're ready to haul the items immediately. Otherwise, you can follow up with a phone call if you're visiting other sales in the area or if you don't live in the immediate neighborhood. To find yard sales, check your local newspaper's classified section. You can also drive around Saturday and Sunday mornings during the spring and summer when they're normally held. Now, of course, you don't have to go to all this trouble. You don't have to offer to clear out the remaining items. You can simply just visit yard sales and try to find items to sell, because a lot of times people either don't know how much something is worth. I've found some collectible items, comic books, old books, really like high value shoes that are in really good condition, things like that. Because usually when people are having yard sales, they're just trying to get rid of their stuff. So if you don't feel like going to all the trouble of trying to barter and trying to clean out what they have left, you can simply visit as many yard sales as you can on a Saturday or Sunday and buy as much stuff as you can find. Of course, make sure you always check on eBay before you buy something, because you don't want to waste your money on something that won't sell. And then just go around and collect as much stuff as you can and bring it home and list it. Okay, so those are the options you have with yard sales. Okay, the next place I recommend you look are Goodwill stores and Goodwill outlets. Goodwill is a great place to find cheap junk you can sell on eBay. However, Goodwill is starting to catch on that people are reselling their products, so the prices have started to climb a bit. That doesn't mean you can't find some great stuff to sell. Now, in the city I currently live, there are many Goodwills, and we also have 3 or 4 Goodwill outlets. These outlets can be a gold mine, and the way the outlet works is that they charge you per pound of products you buy. Okay, so you can load up your grocery cart with stuff, and they'll weigh it and charge you based on the weight. And many of these Goodwill outlets only charge $1 or $2 per pound. Now, if you've never been to a Goodwill outlet, if you've never seen one, it looks like this. It's basically an open warehouse where they have rows and rows of blue bins, these big blue bins on wheels, full of everything you could possibly imagine. Most of it is junk you won't want, but some of it is treasure. I found top name brand clothing, electronics, collectible toys, books, and I found all kinds of crazy things that I've sold for big profits. And this is where you can really find some great junk, quote unquote, for pennies, literally for pennies, that you can sell for hundreds of dollars. Now, it does take some digging when you go to the outlet. There's not a lot of organization to the items you find at the Goodwill outlet. Much of it is just kind of thrown together in the large blue bin, so you have to spend some time looking through, sorting, digging, and picking to find things that are worth selling. It's worth it in the end, however, because of just how inexpensive it is to buy the items from the Goodwill outlet that you can sell. Now, I have a tip for you. If you're When you go to the Goodwill outlet, make sure that you bring with you some rubber slash plastic dish slash food gloves to wear while sorting through the items at the bins. None of the stuff in the bins are cleaned, so your hands can get a bit dirty. Now, I'm kind of a neat freak, so I keep my hands covered, and these types of gloves work really well for keeping your hands clean. Okay, now the next thing you can do, the next place you can go to find items to sell are estate sales. Estate sales can be a gold mine. Items with famous maker names like Tiffany and Company or Rookwood will likely not be a deal at an estate sale. The value of these items is well known, so usually when you find these coveted objects, they are priced at market, and there will be little chance of you making a great return. It's better to seek out an interesting little secondary, to seek out interesting little secondary niche items instead of focusing on big names. Now, when you visit an estate sale, you don't want to ignore digging deep into bins or boxes. All right, oftentimes you can find interesting trinkets that are worthy of resale. For example, you could buy a box of books for just a few dollars and then turn around and list them on eBay for $5 to $10 per book. Now, of course, again, you want to check and make sure using your eBay app that the items that you're going to purchase will sell on eBay. Now, to find estate sales to attend in your area, you want to check out sites like estatesales.net and estatesales.org. Okay, now lastly, I recommend you look on Facebook. Now, Facebook has a marketplace where people buy and sell their stuff. Many times you can find great deals on items that people are looking to get rid of. And you can check out the Facebook Marketplace by visiting facebook.com/marketplace. Now, pro tip, also check Facebook. This is the Facebook Marketplace here, by the way. This is an image of it. You can also check for selling groups, also known as rummage, swap, sell, or trade groups in your area. Now, these are groups where locals put up for sale or trade things they no longer want, and it can be a gold mine for people like you and I who resell on eBay. Okay, now that is it. These are the places I recommend you go to find inexpensive items you can resell on eBay for big profits. Personally, I usually stick with just Goodwill, Goodwill outlets, and yard sales. I find almost everything I sell at these places. However, if you want to branch out and do more, that's great too. Just remember to check eBay using the app if you're out, and check to see if there are other similar items for sale and for sale at a price that makes it worth reselling before you purchase something. Okay, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.